Anyway, BA for $4.99 says they removed the Batman as a fascist line from the Blue Beetle trailer. It's dead on arrival. So that actually segues us really nicely off into our next topic, BA. So you've made it. You're in the clip because we're going to talk about this.
Oh, it's Miguel
after the Flash.
From Cobra Kai.
Well, after the Flash, it's cameos created at the box office. Blue Beetle star promised the film includes more than one character that you'll recognize. They're really scared that this film is going to tank now.
Yeah, I don't know if the Batman line's getting edited, but the new trailer doesn't have it in as far as that goes, if that's what he means. Yeah.
Well, right. But it's not just that. Like, the director's been running
come out and apologized
previously, so now he's apologizing. He's tried begging people to see the movie. I think they're really scared, and they should be. They absolutely should be scared. Like, this is now finally companies and creatives, whatever you want to call them, understanding that you have to appease an audience. You can't just keep doing this to your audience and expecting to get away with it. It doesn't work. And I think this is them finally going, shit. The Flash has lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Probably not a good tactic. Let's try and get people on sides.
Do we think Batman is going to show up?
Oh, that's interesting. God, I hope not. Because
I heard something about Wonder Woman for some reason.
Well, they use Wonder Woman in everything for a cameo, right? The only good Wonder Woman cameo was Shazam 2, I thought.
Well, they got to get their money out of her after they've spent $100-some million on her after Wonder Woman 84. Right?
Well, they've probably got her signed to a few movie deals. They need to go ahead and tap out.
I have no idea. It's just cheap to get her. She's probably the cheapest one to get in the cameo.
I'm sure you're right.
That is true. So, speaking with the rap at the premiere of Barbie, Maraduena, I don't know how to say that, was asked, will DC fans get any people or cameos in there that we'll be surprised by? Well, look, if you're a DC fan, this is the first time that Blue Beetle's coming to the big screen. So that's going to be amazing. And I think, of course, well, I mean, it's just such a simpleton answer as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Blue Beetle's first one coming to the big screen. It's amazing. I think, of course, like any DC movie, we're going to see it's a superhero movie. Yeah, obviously, dipshit. When pressed on whether I know, God, honestly, there are some actors that should not be allowed to be interviewed because they give the most nonsense answers and they just show themselves to be incredibly stupid. They lack all cognitive ability. This is one of them.
I just give him grace. I mean, he's so young, and I'm sure he's excited, because at least he's not Ezra Miller. I'm going to give him that at least. He's not that cringy.
Nah, mate, he's got handlers. All right, I'm not buying this nonsense.
Is this an entourage sort of thing?
He's got handlers around him. They all got handlers around him. They've been prepped on what to say. Come on now.
I'm playing devil's advocate. Right.
I know. When pressed on whether or not there's a cameo, he responded, I don't know. You got me here. I think if you're a DC fan, there's going to be more than just one character that you'll recognize. I can tell you that. So there you go.
So what if you're not a DC fan? I mean... Yeah. How can you be at this point after the Flash?
I don't even know who Blue Beetle is, and
this is the third iteration of Blue Beetle. This is not even everyone's favorite. That's the shame of this.
This is true. Well, I think this will be interesting. You got George Lopez's character calling Batman a fascist, like everyone's been saying. They've now removed it from. They sort of edited out the trailer. So that was in the first trailer.
The people that thought that was funny are the toxic people that work over there. Yeah. And George Lopez is toxic. I mean, you just listen to his shows. He's completely off the rails.
Well, I was the director. It is the director as well.
I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, and the director did come out in his apology and point out that the whole Lopez thing is basically what I was assuming. It's this joke, this ongoing joke throughout the film, where basically George Lopez doesn't like any superheroes, period. Okay. And irony of ironies, now his nephew is a superhero. So that's the joke. But the problem is you have to put in some other jokes in there to make it land, right?
That's right.
Just having one joke in there saying, oh, Batman's a fascist, that doesn't land. Now, if you had a line before that, like, oh, the Flash wants to impress me. Maybe he should get a job at Pizza Hut because I can't get my pizza in less than 30 minutes or something like that. And then another line about, oh, Wonder Woman should cover up. That floozy's always running around with no clothes on.
Yes.
Then you have the Batman as a Flash line.
Right.
Then it will land better. See, as it is now, it just sounds like he's
saying, the Flash is a flake or something.
Or something like that. Exactly. Like a few other things.
Yeah.
Superman's an illegal alien. Prove me wrong. Right. Something like that.
Then you just wouldn't think that he's a political social justice warrior. But the problem is George Lopez is a political social justice warrior.
Too.
And everyone knows that. And then when he says that, and it's like, who is the most popular DC character of all time in any poll? It's Batman. Period.
Batman,
it's usually Batman. It might not be your favorite or mine, but generally speaking, to general audiences, Batman's the biggest one.
Well, and that's because he's the only one doesn't have superpowers. People can relate to him the most. On top of a million other things.
That's a whole other discussion. Right. But the fact of the matter is it's Batman. And so in your first trailer, you're going to insult Batman? Okay. Good luck with that.
It's also coming off the heels of the DC being rebooted.
Yes.
Ben Affleck, which was a lot of people's favorite Batman, being axed, etc. So it was in bad taste. It was completely in bad taste.
It was a bad
But
choice.
the director himself as well, he's been putting his Twitter on private after it was revealed that he hoped Trump would be assassinated, and he believes Puerto Rico is a slave colony. Obviously, he's now run. He's come out and basically like apologized and all this kind of nonsense as well. But yeah, it's just bad taste.
Yeah, it is.
What an idiot.
You know, back when the first Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out, that director, Peter, I can't remember his last name, it was supporting Antifa, so, and it didn't hurt the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think the director hurts the movie. Like, what was the guy's name? Tim Miller, who said, if you don't like Terminator, the female Terminator, you're a misogynist.
Scare the shit out of you or whatever. I think.
Yeah. I don't really think the director saying stuff off the cuff like that hurts the movie as bad as the actors hurt the movie. That's just me, though.
It depends on the director, I'd argue, Chris. That's at least my take on it. I mean, with Tim Miller's thing, I think the movie was doomed no matter what. I think you're right. I don't think his comments mattered much at all. But when you have something like Blue Beetle, where it's not as well known of a character, where the character's bigger than, even the director coming out and antagonizing the fans the way he did doesn't help his argument, right? Like, he can come out and say what I just said earlier out now, but that doesn't change the fact that he was going out there tweeting, job well done, when people were all triggered about the Batman line, for instance, right? Like, that's, to me, that's antagonizing the fans.
But where are these handlers? Where are these handlers saying, dude, you got to apologize for that? That was
somebody must have. He did. And I think James Gunn or somebody else higher up at Warner Brothers said, hey, look, like Nate was saying before, we are facing, this movie bombing worse than Flash did. The only thing going for it is that it's under $100 million budget.
Yeah,
it was originally made for HBO Max.
Right.
So whatever it does do at the theater is kind of more or less just gravy. This character has a little bit of a following from the 90s kids. I don't know it that well, but like I've been told by several people that, the younger kids know this character. You've got, this is the kind of movie that could set, this Sholo kid, I can't remember his last name offhand, but the kid from Cobra Kai, it could set him into the, the next level as an actor. So it has a lot of things going for it. But at the end of the day, the problem is James Gunn's rebooting everything. Some people know that. The other part of it is for a mass audience, most people don't know who this character is. And the more you shove in here from any other these other films is going to turn people off. The more of a chance that you have of people going into this movie not knowing it's a DC character or has any connections with anything else, period, the better off you are. Because I think that is the bigger problem people have right now with a lot of this stuff outside of the bloated, they're just sick and tired of it, the multiverse stuff, what have you, all this other stuff, is they're sick and tired of having to see 12 Disney Plus series and 3 other movies or 5 other movies in recent years to be able to go into this one and understand what the hell's going on. The thing with Blue Beetle, at least, it's an origin story. It doesn't look like, at least this point, that they're attaching it to anything else outside of the Batman line. There is nothing else in it that says, oh, Superman's going to show up, Wonder Woman's going to show up, Flash is going to show up, any of that kind of crap. Yeah. So I think to the audience, hopefully the thing it has going for it is that people don't think they're going to have to do homework to see this movie, and it might be fun. It looks like a Spider-Man kind of, humor as far as like the level of the tone. So I think that it might be okay, but at the end of the day, it's all going to depend on what people are in the mood for come August, right? I mean, people just haven't been going to movies, period.
To me, it's got the appeal of something like Steel or Elektra or Morbius. I'll just check it out when it gets to the home video or something.
Same.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.